We're live. How are you? Our visionary entrepreneurs, life changers. Today's Monday again. What? Today is our 65th episode. We are live, officially live. I hope you are enjoying our weekly episode, Momentum Monday. Okay, and today's topic is about fear, the best teacher for success. So I'm wondering, what is your fear? I guess maybe every person could have multiple fears, right, in different areas of our life. Just name a few. I would like to see comment under the video. Let me know what are your fears. And I remember when I was a child, I had some even till today, like some weird fears, like fears of what ghost, because you're not when you were a little kid, right? And all those adults, especially those funny adults or who want to make like jokes, whatever, they would share with you some weird stories and scare you and just want to make fun with children, right? I don't know if you have had such kind of a experience. So I was hearing so many like ghost related stories. I was so feared. I remember during that time when I was still kids, we did not have our own single house, right? And it's all like shared. Even the bathroom is shared, and it's very close to like small river, and you can hear the river. And I always so feared of go to a bathroom, especially when my parents they were artists. They were in the opera house, and they sometimes they need to go to like have their performance right during nighttime. And me, especially during that time, my older sister, she was going to the high school. I was staying by home by myself, and I was a great student. I always finish my homework before I do other things, right? But it was so fearful for me. I still remember that. Right after I finished my homework, I would rush out to my home and to go to my grandma's place. Fortunately, that's my biggest blessing. She's so close to me, and I can go to different floors to find her. But not in the same house. Okay, it's just like a big apartment building, and but she's on a different floor. And sometimes I was so scared, I even forgot to close our door. I just like you cannot imagine. I just like rush out of our home and forgot to close our door and went to my grandma's place. Unfortunately, during that time there was barely there's no theft, so it's a safe community place, thank God. And but that's one of my biggest fear. And another one, maybe you will laugh at it. Another fear, a big one. Remember, I was so scared to visit doctors. During when you were a little kid, they would give you a shot. During that time, it's the vaccine shot is not now the vaccine shot, right? During that time, they use the knife to cut the pond on your arm and put into some like vaccine. So that's quite a old way, but it's so scary, right? It's painful and scary. And also those the shot during that time, the shot is not on your arm, right? There's some other shots. For example, you get a fever, you get like for the kids, right? You often get fevers. They give the shot on your butt, on your butt, and that's so scary as well. So I still remember all those fears. That's my biggest two fears, right? And another one maybe visit to the dentist. That's because we eat so much candy stuff, and during I was a child, and there's not so much like a hygiene knowledge and technology or science or any kind of, especially the knowledge and understanding during that time back into China is quite compared with current the China. Now China is so advanced in many other areas, even in many areas even more advanced than US, I feel. But during that time, everything's like behind, and especially I was in a small county. A dentist, I got a cavity. I had to visit a dentist, and it's so painful during that time. The technology is totally horrible. But now it's like you get all the preventive kind of technology, right, to maintain, to take care of your teeth very well. Every like a half year you visit dentist, so you barely have any cavity. You barely have that kind of like a toothache, right, during that time. But my time, currently is so much better. So during my time, I would often get the cavity and the pain. So that's it's like a history in China. So that's a few of my early childhood fears. After I grew up, I could not remember like a big fears or maybe one fear, like I would admit, because my parents get divorced. So one of my big fears, I do not fear. Gradually, after I become like adults and come to the U.S. and get to in a better, how to say, living quality environment, those older one, and especially after I believe in God, I have no fear of any ghost anymore. Thank God so much, right? So I do not believe in those superstition stuff anymore. But I still, I'm afraid of what? So like my tooth were taken care of, and then the shot is much better. So I'm still a little bit afraid of those like nurse to get their needle into my vein to get my blood, right? Because sometimes some nurses maybe not so skillful, and they could try a few times to try to get your blood, right? That's horrible. So only except that I do not have really like real fear. But one now I admit that I once was so afraid of the family, the emotion side, right? The family sets break up. I was so sad for my parents separated, they get divorced, and then for quite a long time, when I got into my love, I had that kind of unconscious love, conscious fear of fearing about losing love. So that's my early adulthood fear. So now I'm sharing with you my early time fears. About how about you? And then some other fears, like I admit that I'm afraid of height. When I grow to like very tall, I would be very afraid, especially if it's a glass floor, or maybe it's like just like a how to say that? It's like a metal floor without a concrete, without a solid ground. I would be afraid of that. And then what other fears? I'm afraid of a roller coaster. I have so many fears now. I don't have to admit. How about you, right? I know now those children. When I was a child, we did not have such kind of a fancy, like adventures or like amusement park. We did not have those kind of a playground stuff. So now when I had a kid, they could have they get exposed to all this kind of adventures, including like amusement park, roller coasters. My daughter enjoyed it, and my son was like me, afraid of height and also like roller coaster. So that's like some major things I could think about my major fears, right? So that's why for heights and also for speedy spots, especially like for example the skiing, that's been my one of my fears. And so I remember when my daughter was only two years old, and now she's 13. So now it's like 11 years ago. And the cousin, one of their like uncles, invited us to join their skiing trip. So we joined, had fun together as a big family. But I was so scared about the skiing. But I was so glad my daughter was not. She was only 2, and she's standing on the skiing, was very calm, very explorer, and so I was still have that great memory of that. But myself, I know that that's one of my fears. So whenever we had family vacations, I would prefer to choose, right? If we have a winter spots or like summer spots, I would always choose to go to summer spots, right? Go to beaches, go to some like warmer places like Florida, like California, right? That's my choices. And we went to Hawaii as well. So that's all, like whenever I have choices, I would try to avoid things I fear. So that's why for 11 years, we never went back to skiing again. So that's been something bothered me, because like even like for example swimming, I know I was afraid of water as well. And then I accompany my kids. I know that swimming is necessary, so I accompany my kids, challenge myself to learn swimming. While they were taking their swimming classes, I figured everything out by myself. So I'm so proud that now I can swim. And but I'm still a little bit afraid of big waters, right? I dare not to go to like swimming in a river or sea, but I'm okay to swim in swimming pool. So at least I enjoy that part. And now, after 11 years of, my kids tried everything like skating, like a different basketball, badminton, tennis, all those safe sports, right? I have to say, and then only skiing. One way is because I'm afraid of it. Another way is like it's really like inconvenient, right? You have to try. Drive a long distance to mountains, and it's so inconvenient to put all this equipment on, so heavy, all this kind of trouble, right? I feel like it's cold and nobody really enjoys coldness. I'm not a person enjoy coldness, right? So I always prefer to go to warmer place. Then now after 11 years of avoiding this kind of fear, I just feel like that's limiting me. Okay, that's like I've already tried the majority of other sports, but this one is the only thing we are missing. My kids enjoy skating, like ice skating, enjoy other sports. I feel like not just for me, right, especially for my kids, I do not want them to miss this part of joy, adventure. So especially after this like Winter Olympics in Beijing, I feel like wow, this is time for me really to help my kids to access this opportunity, but to not be be hindered by my fear of skiing. So this is a background I want to share with you. Now, eventually, finally, I made a decision that we need do the skiing this winter. And by the way, I even bought two snowboards for my kids, and I encourage them to try. In like when New York City had the snow, I encouraged them to try it, and they did very well. And since last year to this year, and now it's really the time. I think we need to take the challenge of skiing. So, by the way, I made that decision right first in my mind to take this challenge, and then finally, guess what? We made it. We made it yesterday. So we just returned yesterday night. I barely get time to upload my photos yet, but I will after this video. Okay, after this video, I promise that I will upload some of our skiing photos. I would not say I fully enjoyed it because it's still my fear, right? But I was so happy that I took that challenge to overcome my fear. The fear is still there because but I'm so proud. It's like I made such a big progress, and especially so proud that both my kids, took the big challenge, and they barely. It's just like because the first time the skiing barely can count as the skiing, right? After 11 years, this is count as their first skiing. So we went to a coaching, and we hired the coaches to coach 4 of us, including the dad. The dad actually is better, and he has that athletic gene, I guess. He just like almost like halfway skipped the coaching class, the skiing class, and to just explore by himself. So, like he's just like an adventure by himself, and always follow his own route. And the coach, I guess, the coach really want to coach him, but he just skipped our class and to explore by himself. But the coach so focused more on me and the kids, and especially me, because he could see that, I can feel that, and also see that I was scared, and he put more efforts to help me, especially like for those lift up, right? The cart, he lift up us to the the hill, and he accompanied me. He even hold me, and I fell down with his help. I fell down two times while I was taking the lift up with him. I fell down at the bottom of the lift up, and I also fell down at the top of the lift up when we get off the cart. That's so funny, and he was trying to hold me and almost struck him down. That's that's how awkward I was. But then after the coaching class, right, over 1 hour, he didn't let us to go to explore by ourselves. And I remember I fell down again by myself a few more times, 4 or 5 more times, right? Totally like 6 or 7 times. But thank God I did not give up, because this time I really made that decision that I need to take this biggest challenge and to make progress. So I put some like small goals. Initially he brought us, right, took the lift up to the hill, and it's like a middle way because there are other more challenging slopes. So he brought us to the first level of the slope. I get on the slope and tried all the skills I just learned in that one lesson, and how to stop in the middle of the hill. But basically, my skill is not so advanced, right? I just like sometimes could not control and just like skiing down, and all the hit and all the, but then at least I learned how to stop myself or slow down, right, with that position. So with that basic skills, I, even though after I fell down more 3, 4 more times, but eventually I could control and to make myself skiing down that slope without falling down. Even though I took that very long route to get to almost the end of that the skiing route, but I made it, right? So I set up a goal for myself to challenge myself totally 10 times without falling down. And then I did that. But every time it's so long, it's like very long distance, especially when you were wearing the heavy skiing equipment, right? I don't know if you are familiar with the skiing, or if you are good at the skiing, right? No matter if you're a professional or beginner, that's very heavy stuff. It's like you are very metal, and walk very awkward from that distance, from the very end of the route back to the lift up, and get up and then slide down again, right? So that's very long distance and very energy consuming, and it's a big challenge for my physical energy as well. And so I did that 10 times challenge, and then I was watching my kids did they've already got to the next level, to a more challenging slope. So I was asking myself, do I want to take that challenge as well? So I gave myself that challenge. And first time, so scary, and I fell down the first time in the middle of that slope. But I figured out how to like open those skiing shoes and get off and put on it again and slowing down. So I made that first time, struggled, and but survived. And then the next time I keep challenging myself. I need at least 3 times. I give myself that kind of challenge because it's already over 5 p.m. already. Like the sky is getting darker. I need to finish this 3 challenge before I bring my kids to a bigger challenge. That's a higher lift up, and we'll get the 3 levels of slope. Because I want them to take that challenge, right? I see them, they are already mastered the smaller slope, but I'm behind. So I need to catch up. So I took that challenge and finished those 3 times of skiing from the middle level, not really middle level, it's still like a beginner level, but a little bit more challenging than the beginner, like a very beginner level. So I took those latter 3 without falling down. Yeah, I finished my challenge, and then now it's almost dark. But I do not want my kids to miss their challenge, right? So I ask them, do you want to take that another one? My daughter is excited, but my son, remember, he's like me. He's afraid of height. And even though he's not afraid of skiing, not much, right? But he's scared of the lift up. So I told him, even mommy is not afraid of the lift up. So I challenged him. Initially, he said, no, 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 it's dark. I do not want to. I'm tired. Because it's already like we were skiing for almost like over, let me say, 5 hours, right? It's the body is tired. But I told him, we are doing this once a year, right? This winter season is ending, and we may not find another break time like this. So you will wait for another whole year to take this challenge, or maybe enjoy your next level challenge. So I said that height looks like the lift up looks scary, but if you can overcome it, and today will be so proud of you, and especially you could boast and share with your best friends. And I guess maybe that stimulated him. And he took that challenge. He said, okay, I will try. And I was scared actually inside myself. I was waiting at the bottom of the slope, and to wait to take a picture for them, to take the video or picture for them. And it's very dark already, and the lights already on in a skiing place. And the kids took that long distance of lift up, and I could not see. I could barely see them. Could barely see them. And I was waiting down there, and people come down, and different people come down. I was scared inside myself. I started to, because it's getting colder, more windy, and darker there. I could barely see who is coming down. And so I took some pictures of other people, and I was still praying. I started to pray. I said, God, please, I know my son, I know my daughter, it may be better, but it's still like 3 layers of slopes. it's already like a really like a top hill, and it's her first time. I was a little concerned, and especially for my son as well. He's a little bit reluctant. He's not super happy to take that challenge, and it's dark and he's tired. I'm so afraid that there could be any accident because earlier we saw somebody was lifted down. Somebody get accident and lifted down by the workers. So you cannot imagine how scared I was inside myself. But from my encouragement words to the kids and from my face, I pretended to be like a strong and a calm and encouraging, right? So I was waiting there to take a picture. I was praying all the way, praying very hard, and thank God and put all my faith and my trust in God, and waited and waited and waited, and all these previous people are not them, right? I could barely see from the darkness who are they, till they really get to like very down after the two slopes already, and then I saw them from like their close, and I started to take pictures. I'm super excited, and when they finally get down to me, I was so relieved and thank God and joyful and cheerful and celebrating with them. And my daughter told me my son almost get to another edge of the slowing and almost get accident, right? But he managed it. He like controlled and took the control back and get down to the main route and finally safely get to the bottom. Oh, I get a big relief. But now it's like, should I challenge them more for another route or not? It's getting darker, right? And it's cold. But then I decided to challenge them one more time. Even that's overcoming my fear as well, as a mom, because I'm concerned about their safety. But this time I said, how about another time? Because my son, I said, you almost fell into another edge. Maybe now, if you try one more time, you could get a better control. You are now at least know the route. You may find a better route and have enjoy more about this long distance and more height of skiing. How about that? And then you can call a victory for yourself and overcome the fear about the height, taking the lift up, and also overcoming the fear of the long high distance of skiing. How about that? I challenged him. He hesitated a few seconds and agreed. Thank God he agreed. And my daughter is excited. They said, okay, I would take another challenge. Okay. Then they went on their new lift up route. I started my praying again, right? So I was so scared. I said, God, please, I'm keeping challenging them. This is the one more time. Please take care of them, protect them, and make them make it, right? So I waited long time again, right? Because the lift up is very slow and it's a long distance. It's like a very high hill. And now, eventually, they came down. And till they were very close to me, I could see them, right? Because it's so far distance and so tiny and darkness, I could not barely see their clothes. And of course, on my dear side as well. So, but finally, when they are closer to me, I started to take pictures. And when they finally get so close to me, I could see such a big joy and victory on their face. And at that moment, I was over gratitude and over joyful, so super happy for them. And I know that my son now has overcame, at least maybe not 100%, but overcame his fear of taking out the long distance, the height of like lift up, and also overcame his fear about this skiing. I could not imagine that kind of level of skiing yet, but we are all celebrating this time. And it's too dark. It's already over 7 p.m. and we decided now it's time for us to go back home, because it's over 2.5 hours of driving. And the next day, and today is Monday, right? They have school, so we decided to leave. And by that time, I was so thankful, so cheerful, and we were celebrating. And my daughter was also talking about at the top, she had the fear about. She was super excited, right? Talking about her fear about that kind of the height as well, and how she was noticing in the middle, and her ski almost like lift up, it's like flying, that kind of a speed. Geez, it's such kind of adventure, but it's like we're not there for really for that adventure. It's more for like it's like more for taking the challenges and to see how much we can make it and see our capabilities, right? And especially to really overcome that fear. So now get back to our today's topic. I took so much time to talk about our adventure yesterday because I was super excited, right? I really want to share this journey with you. And now get back to you. What are your fears? Would you like to share? I almost share with you all my fears, right? All those kind of adventures. How about you? What are your fears? I would like to see that if you could be to be, sorry, real with yourself and with others, and to face those fears. And when you can share it, you will not be so fearful anymore, right? Especially when I was sharing my ghost or these things that now sounds like ridiculous, but during that time when I was a child, it's so real and it's so scareful. And but if you can share it now, it's chance for you to take the next step of challenge and to make the transportations. Okay, I want to ask you, if you could be blessed to become a master of one thing, what would that be? I actually want to be blessed to overcome all these kind of fears, right? And my childhood fears I've already overcome, and that made me so proud of myself, right? And now as an adult, I still have so many fears, including the skiing. Even though yesterday I was celebrating, I took the challenges and made such a big progress, but still those like higher hills, I still have the fear, right? The heat, the height. When I was facing down, that's why the picture I was showing you this topic, the fit picture is really not a person, a single person skiing facing all the way down the height and also the distance and the speed, and it's alone. You need, even though you have many skiers maybe and many people around you, but you still need to face that fear by yourself, right? So that's why I actually want to become a master on skiing, and I even though even more I want to become a master of overcoming other fears. For example, in my passion business, and something if you prepare you want to launch, but you are not fully confident, or if this launch will be successful, if really this will like people will like it and they will really make a big progress, or maybe they will make success like that, right? You could have in the business there are many opportunities for you to be afraid of you. Like now I'm doing the speaking, and if I am invited to a bigger stage, I guess I will have that kind of a fear again, right? So we are always taking the next level of challenges. I always have next level of fears, no matter where you are, right? Even like I believe like my mentor Tony Robbins or Dean Gross-Arce, those and Russell Brunson, all those successful ones, they still have their level of challenges and maybe fears, right? And it's just like skiing. You visually you conquer like shorter like a shorter slope, and then if you take the next level, my daughter told me next year she will take next level of coaching classes so that she could master better of those higher slope, right? Like better skills and you have more enjoyment. So that means whichever levels you get to, you always have a that level of challenge. And if you want to go to a next level, this is just life. Our life. Now I'm thinking about the success. How do you define your success? Now I do not think, for me, success is really not any like a make a lot of money or even become so recognized, so impactful entrepreneur. Even that is not success. And now I feel like success is really when you can overcome your fears. That's a real success. Without fear, without failures, there's no real success. You make a lot of money or you become a successful, how say, famous person. To me, that's not really the success. The real success is how many big fears you overcome, become the best person you could be, and always pursue the next level. And that's our life journey. You keep growing as a person, and also you keep taking challenges and get to your next level. Keep become a better person, and until you can reach whatever you set up in your goals or whatever you set up in your dreams, right? Get to your next level. That's a real success. And now, what would you like to become master about? And my biggest, I would say yesterday, this skiing journey really gave me that biggest discovery on fear. Especially I had that epiphany moment. Like initially I fell down, right? and fell down because I was not so skillful. That's the first reason. But then I found that the biggest reason behind my like falling down or failure was actually because of my fear. Because later, when I kept challenging myself, when I finally collected that courage to like really like skiing, have that own that kind of confidence or trust that I can make it, I can make it, I will not give up, I will not give up, especially when I was on that hit, right? And getting down with that speed. I was telling myself, I'm making this, I will not fall down, right? When you overcome that fear at that moment, I just got that, wow, I made it. Not because of my, maybe because part of it because I'm better, more experienced, and get a little bit better, skillful. But majority, I just found that because I did not have that fear, or I overcame that fear at that moment, and had made that decision, made that determination, and also that confidence, and that kind of like it's more like really not confidence even. I still have the fear. I remember I had a fear, but I made that decision. I will make it. I will make it. I had that trust. God make me make it, and I overcame that fear, and then I made it. So the actual failure is not come from the difficulty itself. I just found it's not because of the slope. It's not because of my lack of skills. It's more because of my fear. The failure is more from your fear. So when you can change your fear, when you can overcome your fear, especially when you can make that determination, you will make it no matter what. And then the situation is still the same, right? The same slope, the same conditions, but then you overcame it, and then you become the victor. So that's that moment of epiphany. When I overcame that, I said, wow, I did not just overcome the slope, I overcame my own fear. When my fear was still there, but when my desire of winning, desire of conquering this type of challenge, when my desire was stronger than my fear, I made it. And I did not fall down for 10 times continuously. Wow. So that's a big discovery for me. It's like the fear is actually the real cause of your failure. For example, in your business, you want to do something like big launch. If eventually the results is not as as desired or what, it's more because of your desire is still not strong enough. You still have that fear. You have not overcome your fear. Your determination and your desire has not been stronger than that fear. And then you will of course get the result not so good. But if you made that decision that no matter what, I will make it happen and keep trying different ways. And I yesterday tried 10 times of that same slope. Try different ways and then little by little, and twist and adjust a different I remember I tried to be more conscious of my feet. How do I control that the ski shoes and the ski board? I was every time little by little get a little bit more like a control and connection with my feet, and to see how to adjust a little bit of the direction so I could have a tiny adjustment and freedom on that skiing. So even though I'm still I feel like I'm still like a beginner, a little bit better than beginner, but I'm still, at least I felt that kind of a little freedom and the joy of taking a little control of my skin. And just like now in the business, it's also like when you can make the determination and decide that you would conquer this, and you have a stronger desire to, bigger desire than your fear, and you definitely, I guarantee that your results will be much better when you are still, think more about your fears, right? So that's, and now finally, how could you overcome any fear to claim your success today? So like I described this story, why I want to describe these stories to you. So now actually you could see that process already, right? The first and most important is really like you have this desire, you have accumulated desires that you really want to win, or you really want to not win others, not to compete just with others, right? Or like compete in the market. You really want to win yourself, because you now know your fears, and you want to challenge yourself to overcome that fear, so you could become a better person. You could own more freedom, so you could not be like feel like you're limited and really like a physically or mentally, emotionally and spiritually limited by that fears. You really want to take that fears like, okay, I know you, I see you. Now I want to get to the next level of my life, to claim a better level of freedom and victory, and to know what I'm made of, and to know what kind of potential my life could reach. So I need to face this fear and take this challenge. So you make that determination, no matter what. Like I made a determination, no matter what, this year I must make it. Initially we had some other obstacles, right? But I once I made that decision, we made it happen in very short time. So it's really like first make your determination, and now it's finally you get enough, very enough of this fear. It's too much because it has been limiting you for too long and too much. That's enough. You say that's enough to yourself, right? And now it's time. Finally, you determined you want to make that change. You want to take this challenge. You want to overcome this fear. Even though the fear maybe still stay with you, but you want to dance with it. Now it's time to dance with it, right? So now you set up your small goals. Like I challenge myself, I would take 10 times of low falling trip from that slope, and every time I improve a little bit, every time I improve a little bit of a control in the direction and where I go. So set up those small goals, step by step, challenge yourself to make it happen. And take the challenge, take the action, make it happen, right? If you need to take some challenges, put it on your calendar. Set up the date and when you want to do it, and what level you want to get to, right? And what you want to do. And for example, for my launching, I've already set up my deadline, and now it's like a reverse engineer to make things happen, to meet that deadline. Give yourself the deadline, okay? Take this challenge and make it happen. And then what? When you can accomplish that, the tiny steps and the progress, once you make a progress and meet those, you do not need like a set of too far goals that make you so frustrated. Like for example, my kids get to that 3 levels of slope. I have not get there yet, but at least I accomplished this, like a beginner 2 levels of slope. So I feel so proud of myself and celebrate with my kids for their bigger victory as well. So the final step is really celebration. And yesterday, even though we went back to New York a very late time, almost like 10 o'clock, we still went to find a restaurant. Thank God there's some restaurants still open, and we had a celebration, right? So this is a great journey I want to share with you, that I want you to experience it as well. And by the way, next year, we've already determined that next year we will go back to that skiing place, and we'll hire a coach for the next level of class, especially for my kids as well. And I will keep challenging myself. I know that I will challenge myself to do that beginner level slope till I really master the skills, can control the direction and go zigzag, really like the skiing masters, right? To do that. Once I could master that, then I will challenge myself to go higher slope. Yeah, that's a plan. That's only for skiing, but for our passion business as our entrepreneurs, this is my challenge as well. And for my this year, I will create in some new challenges to challenge yourself and to share my best learning and to help you to make that impact. That it will be about your how to fulfill your purpose, how to discover your best niche, and how to build up your impactful branding, and then how to create your thought leaders content to impact more lives, to really attract your ideal clients. So that's my next level challenge for you. So get prepared for that. Stay tuned. We will share that with you quite soon. And by the way, you are watching this live video. I hope you will, if you haven't finished this whole one, I would encourage you to listen to watch the replay and get a whole story and messages and get to know where take this challenge now. Set up this like find out one fear of yourself. Okay, one fear at a time. One fear that you want to overcome this season, and you cannot tolerate it anymore. It's enough for you, and you really want to overcome that fear. And set up small goals, and also book it on your calendar by when you want to overcome it. And share with us, because I want to hold you accountable. and we also want, especially want to celebrate together with you. Okay, so make sure that you use this kind of resource to hold you accountable, and we could lift you up to take that challenge, overcome the long-term fear, so that you could enjoy the joy and freedom at another end of that fear. Okay, so let your fear become your best teacher of your success. I would look forward to meeting you at the next level. Okay, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.